Rush 4. Lamar trying to make magic happen. Throw it end zone. Right way. 2 feet down. Yes! Touchdown! What a play!
Let's make sure.
Oh!
Very close.
Oh.
What's going on? Welcome to Fight for the Title. Week 1 of the 2024 NFL season is in the books, so let's take a look at some of the biggest takeaways from this week. First off, let's go over something I talked about in my last video, and that is how the Atlanta Falcons made a mistake by signing Kirk Cousins. I won't get into all the details right now. You can watch that video if you want the whole conversation, but this week validated my point. You might say, it's only 1 week. Calm down. That's the whole point though. It's not just 1 week. It's been the past 10 years with Kirk. He looked awful in this week's game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Falcons team as a whole got beat by a kicker. Don't get me wrong, Justin Fields didn't look much better on the other side, but Kirk looked immobile and inaccurate. I'm not even sure he should have played. It looked like he was babying his Achilles that he injured last season. Now, I'm not sure if it is a mental thing and he just needs to mentally get over the injury, or it's something physical that still isn't right when he drops back to pass or runs. For the most part, he looked like a statue in the pocket. It might just be Michael Penix Jr. time before we know it. Next on the agenda is the Jets. They still aren't good. Jets fans waited a whole year to watch Aaron Rodgers come back and hopefully be their savior. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I will give him the fact that he was playing the 49ers defense, which has been a stud, at least of the last 5 years, but this looked like the same old Jets. Who knows, maybe they just need time to start clicking with each other, but I wouldn't be so sure. Aaron Rodgers is a 40-year-old and coming off an Achilles injury. There was some evidence of the improviser Rodgers once was, but I'm not convinced that that guy is coming back for sure. Something I also think can't be overlooked is Robert Saleh's job. I think he came into the season on the hot seat, and this opening week didn't do anything to help his case. The leash isn't very long, and they need to get something figured out quick if he doesn't want to lose his job mid-season. Who knows? Maybe Nathaniel Hackett can take it over? On the other side of things, Jordan Mason came in clutch for my and many other fantasy leagues this week. Just before Monday night's game against the Jets, everyone found out that Christian McCaffrey was not going to play in that game. It was believed that Mason would be replacing him as the starter for week 1. Replace him he did. Jordan Mason dominated running the ball in place of McCaffrey. This is not any way me saying that he should replace McCaffrey. That would be outrageous. It is me saying that there's a chance he gets more playing time when Christian McCaffrey is healthy. He may be able to take some of the workload off McCaffrey throughout the season. This may be able to keep McCaffrey healthier longer down the stretch. Mason had 28 carries for 147 yards and a touchdown, and that Jets defense is nothing to scoff at. As far as I'm aware, there is no return timeline for Christian, but the 49ers should be in good hands until he's ready to go. This may even give him more time to get completely healthy. That title really does say it all. DeShaun Watson is cooked. This is going to go down in NFL history as one of the worst trades ever. He has not looked good since he has put on the Browns uniform. Their offense ran better with a geriatric Joe Flacco running it last season. He tries to make plays that he used to be able to make, but it doesn't come close to the player he wants to be or once was. He's not as mobile and not nearly as accurate as he needs to be. The defense looked a little stale against the Cowboys offense, but you're telling me this guy couldn't even keep the game close? He has talent around him, so he doesn't have a lot of excuses, and you can hardly blame it on Nick Chubb not playing. However, when he is back, Watson has absolutely zero excuses. I think some of the coaching staff is also on the hot seat here. I don't think that's fair, considering that this is a staff that brought the Browns out of being perpetually terrible. With that said, someone in the front office is going to need to be replaced and be the fall guy for DeShaun Watson's shortcomings in the trade that happened. It might just turn into turmoil for the Browns organization once again, and Baker Mayfield is way better off out of that situation and with the Buccaneers. He caught a lucky break. I would say last but not least, however, they definitely are the least. The Carolina Panthers are an absolute dumpster fire. Many were curious if a new season would come with progression from the young quarterback. It does not appear to be the case. The Carolina Panthers are a terribly run organization. That is frustrating when it comes from the ownership, because that means it's going to be ingrained in the organization as a whole. It's pretty difficult to overcome bad ownership. Just ask the Washington Commanders. We will see if the coaching staff is allowed to have any leeway and time to work with the players this season. The previous regimes were not so fortunate and quickly done with. If they can keep a coaching staff and players around for longer than part of a season, maybe they will be able to build some synergy, and that will have to start from the top. There's one other topic I wasn't planning on talking about but just came to mind, and that is the situation with Brian Daboll. I think he is in a hot seat as well because they played like trash against the Vikings, and that's a Vikings squad that nobody expected to be very good. They got absolutely dominated by Sam Darnold and the Vikings. I said this at the time, but the contract for Daniel Jones was absolutely horrible, and they never should have done it. Unfortunately, that ties Daniel Jones to the hip of Brian Daboll, and whether it's fair or not, Daboll's reputation and career may just be in shambles because of Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is awful. He can maybe be a backup player in this league. Other than that, he really should never start again. Unless Brian Daboll can find a different quarterback or fix Daniel Jones with some kind of miracle potion, I think he's going to be looking for a new job sometime soon. With that said, that's all for this week. Comment your thoughts down below and subscribe for more NFL news and content. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.